Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Welcome everyone. Welcome once again to Kahului Hongwanji Buddhist Temple's online YouTube Sunday service. Today's service is for March 6th, 2022, and this is just our regular family service. We will begin we have begun the service already with the ringing of the temple bell, the Kansho, calling us all together, calling us to mindfulness, to listen to the Buddha's teaching, the Dharma, and to reflect deeply upon it. Following my opening words, we will have the chanting of Vandana and Tisarana, which is the praising of the Buddha and the Buddha's enlightenment, and the taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Following that, we will chant the Sutra Gassho to Amida, and then recite the Golden Chain of Love. After the Golden Chain of Love, I will share a Dharma message with you, and then we will chant the Metta, the loving kindness meditation, and sing the Nembutsu. Following that, I'll have some closing words and announcements. Okay, so welcome once again, and thank you very much for joining us today, and let's begin our service by reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Bhutang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda. Namo Amida Butsu. I recite Amida's name with deep joy and gratitude. I Gassho to Amida, trees and grasses and flowers all grow in great compassion. This light shines throughout the world. I Gassho to Amida. Flowers bloom and flowers fall. From the seed sprout new flowers. This is the truth unchanging. I Gassho to Amida. Springtime brings the happy birds. Their songs all praise Amida. I join them in Nembutsu. I Gassho to Amida. When I call Amida's name, it's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. I Gassho to Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namo Amida Butsu. Then I feel great compassion. I Gassho to Amida. Nembutsu in work and play, every day with Amida, every moment filled with light. I Gassho to Amida. Remember the golden chain, kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. I Gassho to Amida. In the clear bright morning sun, in the fading light of day, in the darkness of the night, I Gassho to Amida. Namo Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. This great power guides my life. I Gassho to Amida. Namandabu, 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 Namandabu. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Golden Chain of Love. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Welcome once again to our Kahului Hongwanji YouTube Sunday service. And at this time I'd like to share some thoughts about the Buddha's teaching with you. So I'd like to begin by reciting one of the poems of Shinran. And so please join me in reverence as I do so. The great sage Shakyamuni teaches that Amida's land is easy to reach and calls the sentient being who doubts the Pure Land path a person lacking eyes or lacking ears. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So welcome once again. Since the COVID pandemic began, most of us have not had much opportunity to travel. Actually, for a long time, we didn't even get out of the house very often. If you remember, not too long ago, so that was kind of hard. Due to all these restrictions, travel was very difficult, and most people didn't do it, or weren't able to do it. And of course, we with concerns about health and fear of picking up the virus or spreading the virus, it really put a stop on travel. And it's still, people are having, not everyone's ready to go back to traveling yet. Now that most of the restrictions are lifted, though it is people are starting to travel again. Tourism is growing, and the tourist industry is very happy about that. And now, of course, after the pandemic is sort of winding down, we have the Ukrainian situation, and that may slow things down again. And that's a whole nother sad situation. But also rising costs, due to all these factors, are may make travel difficult for many people. Many of us who don't have a lot of money, But maybe, reflecting from a Buddhist point of view, whether actual travel is hard or easy, I think we can reflect that as Buddhists, we are all travelers, even if we don't leave home, even if we never leave home. And I think that from a Buddhist perspective, we are always on a journey. If you look up the word travel in the dictionary, you'll learn that it is a variant of the word travail, which means painful or laborious effort. If you've had experience with airports these days, or airlines in recent years, you know that there's a lot of travail involved in that. But relatively speaking, travel today is easy. But it's only been in comparatively recent times that traveling has been not a great travail, Only in recent times has travel become something that's more or less fun, something we do for fun. In the past, travel was undertaken as a necessity, usually for survival. People traveled to seek food or better conditions, or to escape from intolerable circumstances. For the vast majority of human history, before farms or cities existed, human beings actually were full-time travelers, nomads for the most part. We were all wanderers on the way. One of the great Italian poets of the 20th century, his name was Cesare Pavese, wrote these words. He said, "Traveling is a brutality. It forces you to trust strangers and to lose sight of all that the familiar comfort of home and friends. You are constantly off balance. Constantly off balance. Nothing is yours except the essential things: air, sleep, dreams, the sea, the sky, all things tending toward the eternal, or what we imagine of it." Thinking about it, the statement, "travel is a brutality," is not necessarily a criticism of travel. He reveals a great truth when he says, "Nothing is yours except the essential things: air, sleep, dreams, the sea, the sky, all things tending toward the eternal." What does that mean? Travel, leaving home, leads us toward the eternal. It's true that being on a journey necessarily leads us to what is eternal. That is, to the things that really matter, not back to what we normally think are important. The journey takes us toward what is essential and real. Have you ever experienced this feeling when you were traveling? We have to understand something very important and crucial. The real journey that we are all on is not a vacation. It's not a trip to Vegas or Europe or some nice place or Disneyland, you know. The real journey is our everyday life. Life itself is the journey. We can pretend that our everyday life is fixed, secure, predictable, and that the vacations we sometimes take are diversions from everyday life. But the truth is that all of our life is a voyage upon uncharted seas, a wandering in the desert. We are all lost in the wilderness, seeking to find a way home. What are we looking for, and where are we going? We all pretend to know where we are going in life, but actually, maybe we don't. The great Japanese poet Matsuo Basho wrote one of the great works of Japanese literature called Oku no Hosomichi. This work is in the form of a travel diary, a combination of prose and poetry, and it is a fictionalized account of the travels that Basho made with his friend Kawai Sora through the northern provinces of Honshu. The title of the book has been translated as Narrow Road to the Interior or Narrow Road to the Deep North. Oku, interior, refers both to the deep northern lands of Honshu, which they traveled through, and also to the interior self, the inner self, which was the true goal of their journey, of all of our journeys. Their journey was a spiritual quest. Basho began his book with these really beautiful words. The sun and moon are eternal travelers. Even the years wander on. A lifetime adrift in a boat, or in old age, leading a tired horse into the years. Every day is a journey, and the journey itself is home. The journey itself is home, Basho tells us. If you travel a lot of necessity, say for work, you might live most of the time on the road. But even those of us who stay in one place most of the time, our life too is a voyage, a wandering through the years of our living. But what is the object of this journey? What is our destination? It is not a theoretical question, so I can't give you a theoretical answer. Actually, we each need to discover this for ourselves. This searching is part of our journey. When I think about my own life in this way, I have to stop and reflect. I have to ask that question, who am I on this path and where am I going? Normally, I am pretty attached to comfort and predictability. I like to know that certain things are right and true, that others are wrong and false. In my comfortable home life, things seem clear, but travel upsets those certainties, and when I travel, I find myself adrift at sea with no permanent place to put my things and no certainties. I don't think I am the only one like this. Most of us like to put down roots and feel that sense of permanence and security. But when you are on a journey, you are no longer in control. Loss of a sense of control is one of the most disturbing things for human beings, yet it is also the most liberating thing. Because this permanence, this sense of certainty, is all an illusion. We are all always on a journey, and our journey is our home. But life is not an easy journey, and our travels through life are often a travail. Of course, today literal travel is relatively easy. Basho's travel itinerary would be relatively easy to follow today, what with cars, trains, planes, and buses. It could be done in a matter of days, maybe less. But for Gassho and Sora, their trip, on foot of course, and over dangerous mountain paths, took over 2 years. To travel from Hawaii to Japan now takes only about 8 hours travel time, but even as recently as perhaps 50 or 60 years ago, it would have taken a week by boat, and in the days before steamships, it took many weeks. Today, travel is so easy, but the true journey, the journey of life, is perhaps harder than ever. And yet, it depends on what we mean by easy. It is easy to stay home, to stay in our safe cocoon. We can feel secure and settled and pretend we always know what will happen and what everything in our life means. There is nothing unusual in this. We all live like that most of the time, and some people never, ever, in this sense, leave home. But the fact is, no matter how rooted we are, how sure of ourselves and our place in the world, no matter how clear our life seems to us, we are all wanderers on the road of life, always in movement. Our lives are constantly changing, even when we don't notice it. The winds of impermanence are always blowing. In early Buddhism, the most significant aspect of the life of a follower of the Buddha was that he or she rejected the life of the home and chose to be a literal wanderer, living without possessions, shelter, or security. He or she left home to enter the stream of the Dharma. A Buddhist monk or nun of that early tradition did not live in a temple or monastery, but wandered in the forests, practicing and teaching the Dharma. They did not work for a living, but relied on the goodwill of whoever was living nearby, wherever they happened to be, to give them their food for each day. They never thought beyond food for one day and trusted that their path would guide them toward their ultimate goal. They were travelers. When you go on a journey, you have to trust that you will find what you need on the way. You cannot carry everything with you, nor can you be sure of what you will find. You cannot control much on a journey. For example, you have to trust the boat or train or airplane will carry you safely, and that the strangers you meet along the way will provide for your needs. But if life itself is a journey, that is exactly our situation, not only when we're on vacation, but every moment of our life, every moment of every day. Nowadays, even in countries where the ancient forms of Buddhism are still followed, like Burma and Thailand, Sri Lanka, and so on, very few Buddhist monks are literally wanderers anymore. There isn't much forest left, much wilderness left, and institutionalization has more or less ritualized the path of the homeless wanderer so that it exists mostly in form only, not in substance. Inevitably, due to what is called progress, human beings have become very restricted, settled, and fixed in our ways of life. We have become dependents. Of course, the efficiency and benefits that technological advances have brought us seem to make life easier, but we have lost our sense of life as a journey, and we are no longer free. And so, we have learned to rationalize our dilemma, and so delude ourselves into believing that life is supposed to be fixed, that convenience and comfort is an inherent right, and that change is alien and to be avoided. And so life as a journey has been forgotten, and now we only travel for business or pleasure. The sense of life as a journey, the travail of life, is largely forgotten. And yet, unless we are able to reawaken that sense of being on the path, that nothing at all is certain, unless we feel that sense of new discovery and awakening with every step, then we will inevitably fall ever more deeply asleep and live our life as if it were only a dream. So we have to ask the question once again, if we are travelers, if our life is a journey, then where is it we are going? The great Jewish scholar Martin Buber once said, All journeys have a secret destination of which the traveler is unaware. So let me ask you, what is the secret destination of your life? Have you ever asked that question? Where are you going? In the poem of Shinran Shonin that I read at the beginning, he tells us Amida's land is easy to reach. When Shinran spoke of Amida's land, I think he was referring to that hidden goal of our life, the meaning and purpose and the fulfillment of this journey we are on. The traditional understanding of the Pure Land is that we go there at death, that it is the place from which true enlightenment or awakening may be attained. Shinran emphasized the Pure Land as actually being awakening itself, though, the attainment of true wisdom, as oneness, the Pure Land as oneness with the Buddha's mind. In the ultimate sense, awakening cannot be attained in this life, since our selfishness is so profound and our judgmental nature so pervasive that we simply cannot even imagine the all-embracing nature of the awakened mind. Yet, it is possible for us to have an intimation of that reality, enough at least to realize the nature of our existence and to discover, though not fully, this ultimate oneness within the journey of life itself. These famous lines from a poem by T.S. Eliot express, at least for me, this mysterious journey we are on and our oneness with its goal. On the path of life, the spiritual life, he says, and this is the verses from the poem, "We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time, through the unknown, unremembered gate, when the last of earth left to discover is that which was the beginning." So, the journey we call life is hard. It's a travail. It's full of suffering. But the goal is easy to reach, as Shinran says, not because we know how to get there, where we are going, or even where we are. It is easy to reach because in the truest sense we are already there. In any case, the only way to get there is to trust the path itself to lead us. To doubt the easy way means to become settled and fixed in our ideas and opinions, to lose the joy and spontaneity of life, to lose our sense of wonder and discovery. Then we become, as Shinran called them, persons lacking eyes or ears, people unable to see and appreciate our life and our path. The final truth is that we never reach the goal of our life, the infinite oneness. The truth is, the goal reaches and embraces us. So thank you very much for listening today. And let's put our hands together in Gassho and recite the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Well, thank you so much for joining us today for our Kahului Hongwanji Buddhist Temple's online YouTube Sunday service. I just have a few announcements for you today. So our schedule for the coming or remaining month of March is that we will have an in-person service and YouTube Sunday service next week, March 13th. On the 20th, we will have YouTube service only, and on the 27th, we will be having in-person service for our Ohigan major service and family gratitude remembrance. We will also have a YouTube service on that Sunday as well. On April 3rd, Kahului Hongwanji Buddhist Temple will have its Buddha's birthday, Hanamatsuri, which means flower festival observance. That will be April 3rd, and we will have the Hanamido, the house made out of flowers that, with the statue of the baby Buddha, and people can pour the tea on the Buddha. That's an old tradition relating to the story of the Buddha's birth. And that will be an in-person service, and there will also be a YouTube service as well. And then the following week, the Central Maui Hanamatsuri Association will have its Hanamatsuri celebration, but this year it didn't quite. Things didn't develop in time, so it's still going to be a Zoom service, but it will be on April 10th, following Sunday after our Hanamatsuri here, and it will be. The link will be distributed and become available soon, but for now, it will, just so you know, there will be no Sunday service here, no YouTube or in-person service, but only the Central Maui service. Okay, so thank you so much for being with us today. I hope that this service was meaningful for you and that you were able to take something with you that will help you in your journey of life. So thank you so much, and let's recite the Nembutsu to conclude our service. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.